Beloveds, there's currently a trend happening in social media called the divorce effect or the glow up content. This is viral content that showcases the before and after videos of women ranging from ages 30 on to 60, highlighting a dramatic shift from looking exhausted, sad, depleted, dejected, within their marriage to suddenly looking refreshed, confident, and joyous after divorce. Beloveds, I am Coach Felecia Killings, the founder and CEO of the Felecia Killings Foundation and the Conscious Conservative Movement. And I want to thank you so much for joining us for another video where we are talking about the current trends that are happening, the data that is out here in terms of relationships, love, marriage, and even family. And as I shared with you in previous videos, the foundation is here as a conservative think tank, offering not just solutions to a lot of the challenges that we are seeing in our political sphere, but also tackling a lot of these social issues that are happening and how it affects Black America, how we can also rebuild. So welcome, beloveds. This is another one. I like to treat my video presentations as an opportunity to share with you some of the things we're doing behind the scenes of the foundation, as well as talking about some of the research that we are engaging in, again, as it relates to the social spheres. Now, for those who don't know, let me turn that down. I have been working within conservative politics since 2016. And over the years, God has given us great favor in terms of reaching evangelical spiritual leadership, conservative political candidates, and then really working with those who are a part of the grassroots work as well, helping them to learn how they can be more effective in their messaging, how they can reach more voters, particularly within Black America who are conservative and moderate, and building a really empowering experience, political experience, so that each time Republicans win or each time conservatives win, Black people always have some kind of political options. And over the last 8+ years, we have done some great work over the years. It's just been phenomenal. Very grateful to God, the Holy Spirit, for the opportunity to do this work of ministry and to still be present years later. Politics can be very, very challenging if you really don't understand the landscape and if you don't have any kind of direction. So anyways, it has been an honor. But as we have progressed over the years, one of the other areas that we are focused on addressing is the social spheres. And as I mentioned in a previous video, within America, we are seeing a major decline in American marriages, but even more profoundly within Black America. The stats are pretty alarming. About 50% of American adults are married, but when we look at Black America, only about 30% of them are married. And I'm talking about the legal element, right? Not just people who are shacking up or cohabiting, or individuals who are dating and pretending to be married. No, we're talking about those who have gone the legal route and they're doing things as a legal business unit, if you will. Anyway, so the numbers are very, very dire. At the same time, we are seeing a lot of Black millennials and Generation Z Black men and women who are interested in becoming married. According to the report that I shared the other day, 81% of Black millennials are interested and they desire marriage, but they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go or how to prepare or really how to establish themselves so that their marriages succeed. And one of the things that are really that's really troubling within today's dating market, if you will, is that unlike our parents and our grandparents, we now have to deal with social media. We have to deal with these trending topics. We have to deal with a different kind of media experience where there's such this influx of individuals who are basically tearing down the joys that can be affiliated with marriage. And I was talking to Nicole Pinkston. She's the founder of Iconic Marriages. She's also one of our CCM legacy partners. And I was sharing with her this morning, I said, I don't know if you've heard about the trend that's happening, but it appears as though there are more women who are trying to create content around this trend of leaving their marriages, even if they are really good marriages. I'm talking about Tia Mowry, for example, and they're going on this I gotta find myself journey. They're leaving their marriages, they're divorcing their good husbands, many of whom are blindsided by what their wives are doing. And then they are using social media as a means to document their finding themselves journey. And in the process, they are destroying a family structure. They are removing the husbands from and the fathers from the household. And it's a trend. And again, they're calling it the divorce effect, the glow up content, that glow up stage. Now, I want to talk about this in the next couple of videos because a part of the research, again, looks at the culture. It looks at American culture, especially Black American culture, and how the culture is now attempting to redefine what is good for Americans in terms of love, marriage, and family. At the same time, we have to look and ask, is this kind of progressive work actually producing the results that these individuals want? Now, some of the content is focused on women who have just felt depleted in their decades-long marriage. They saw themselves as, sex slaves or, just doing chores all the time, and this unequal balance of work in the marriage and all these different things. And let me just speak to this on a personal level. There's a time and place for everything. And one of the things we do within our newest program called the CCM Love, Marriage, and Family Leadership Training is that we emphasize how important it is for women, single women in particular, to know who they are in God, know their unique callings and gifts, and then be willing to exemplify that as a single woman, so that when they come across a man whom they are interested in having a long-term relationship with, they don't lose themselves in the process. They don't find themselves hidden under that man's ambition or whatever it might be. But instead, they start to work together. I talked about in another video that when we are thinking about love, marriage, and family, we have to go back to the ancient principles that actually worked. So let's talk about Genesis, for example. In the book of Genesis, we see that God created male and female. He created them and then gave them both instruction on exercising dominion in the earth. And that means that they were co-equals in terms of authority, power, success, or what have you. It was not simply just Adam has all the instructions. He knows exactly what to do. And Eve is just here to procreate, to create more, more slaves, if you will. That is not it at all. There is something very unique and powerful within the original understanding of why women were created in the first place. And it's important for those of us who are knowledgeable about the things of God, or who are knowledgeable about the kingdom of God, the spiritual laws. It's important for us to get these messages out there because, as I said, the culture within American society has now pushed people, singles and couples, into this notion that marriage is oppressive, marriage is degenerating, marriage is a burden, especially for women. After all, we got to do these glow ups. And so getting back, the purpose of the programs that we are doing here is not to repeat a lot of the same mistakes that some of the more traditionalists have done over the decades. If you look at conservative politics in particular, you'll see some of the women, especially the younger ones who are millennials or whatnot, some of the women who are married are trying to, use the same talking points as of the days of old, if you will. And I'm like, those talking points don't even work. add to it these women who are who are on media and talking a lot about whatever their husband's this and their husband's amazing, and they're lying, right? A lot of them are, and I know this because I have fellowship with some of them. Excuse me. So anyways, I know a lot of these women, they have divorced their husbands. They are, trying to live their best life as if they are single and dating whomever. Like, that's what's been happening even within conservative politics. And so I'm like, there has to get to a point where we are having these real, genuine conversations about love, marriage, and family, and not looking at it based upon how can we perpetuate a lot of the same stereotypes or the same talking points that actually got women in positions to where today they are trying to escape marriage. They are trying to escape what they initially believed was going to be there forever. And so again, we want to get back to the principles that have worked. And if we can focus on those things, if we can focus on the spiritual and the moral aspects of love, marriage, and family, I believe and I know we will get better results. And so that's what I want to continue to talk about. This divorce, glow up kind of trend that's happening, it is destructive, period. It's going to result in more destruction. And only because there isn't something countering it in such a way that it would provide the necessary healing and structure that would be empowering to these wives while they're in their marriages. Instead, it's just telling them, go ahead and escape it because of happiness or whatever. Now, one thing I want to emphasize here, because there are some folks who believe, especially if they come from a very strong evangelical religious background, there are some women who believe that you never exit a marriage, no matter how abusive a man might be. And we do not advocate for that. That is one of the reasons I had to leave my own marriage, because it became so physically, financially, emotionally abusive. And I have all the police reports to document it, right? Like, I don't play when it comes to being legal about stuff. But not every single relationship in marriage is like this. And so for that reason, even when we go and we look at the scriptures and where Jesus was addressing some of the people as it related to marriage and divorce, and he taught them that what God has brought together, let no one put asunder. But in certain circumstances, in certain environments where there's chronic infidelity and there's abuse, yes, it behooves a woman and a man, if you are being abused by your wife, and it does happen, and if that's taking place, then you also have a spiritual and legal right to exit that marriage. But we're not going to address that one for today in particular. I want to really focus on this idea that women are just looking for validation. They're looking for this massive kind of social media attention, and that in the process, they are destroying good marriages. They are bankrupting their own marriages. And I'm not talking about it financially. I'm talking about it spiritually and morally. When you are willing to destroy your union and destroy your family just so you can get some social media clicks, my beloved women. So anyways, we're going to continue talking about this over the next, and I actually want to bring Nicole. We might do a Zoom coaching session or whatever on this topic, but a lot of things are happening right now, but it doesn't mean that it has to stay this way. And one of the things I want to do is encourage Black Americans to avoid it as much as possible. Like, avoid that space altogether and really lean heavily into your desire for a really great marriage, because there is a way that it can be done. You don't have to go looking around in other places, especially on social media, trying to find the answers and the solution. I guarantee you, if you just open the ancient text, it'll help you. But even if you don't do that, my prayer is that God would send elders your way who will help you to navigate. Because the 81% of Black millennials and Gen Zers who are interested in marriage, I consider that a blessing. I consider that an opportunity for those of us, especially who are a part of conservative politics or evangelicalism, those of us who have more traditional values. I see that as an opportunity. And so that's what I want to do with the foundation, and even with Iconic Marriages as a partner. It's like we have to get here, positioning ourselves so that we are able to chat with these folks about something so much more empowering. So if you want to learn more about the CCM Love and Marriage Family Program, take a look at the description below. I think you're really going to be blessed by the experience. And as we continue to gather a lot more data and information, I will always be here on YouTube to chat with you about my thoughts and how we are tackling things this next round. So blessings to you, beloved. Take care, and I will see you for another video.